everybody, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Scott. It's time for the Almost Friday show for March 17th, 2011. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, if you do that kind of thing. If you're Irish.
I don't know why we're not drinking.
Because we're here. We're that dedicated.
Yeah, we've done shows drinking before.
True.
We did this wrong.
I leave this in your court.
No. Starting off and off the press, we're telling you how to make do-it-yourself Kryptonite candy.
Because who doesn't want that?
And I really want to scare the crap out of kids dressed as Superman.
And I want to sell it to people telling them it's Kryptonite.
I don't know if anyone's going to believe you.
I'll try. Valiant effort.
In Tech Insight this week, we're checking out New York Times. They have a new pay system because apparently they want you to pay to...
It's not free anymore. Well,
yes.
It is a little bit, but then it gets confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll tell you more about how confusing it is in tech.
Then in Mad Science, we're telling you about new dinosaurs. They've discovered new... I thought we...
Sean went out with a little brush and his hat, and he found some new dinosaurs for us to talk about.
Here in Ontario?
Absolutely.
Sean went on an excavation somewhere else. He won't tell us where.
That's how committed we are. We're bringing you new species.
Yes, apparently. I didn't know we could do that.
Well, we're doing it now. That's what's happening.
Have covered it happened already? You think we have? I'm a little disappointed in this, to be honest.
Yeah, we found a new dinosaur. We didn't even film it. This is gonna turn into some sort of green screen where Sean's running away from dinosaurs, isn't it?
Hasn't it already?
Probably.
Yeah. Then lull of the week, we've got. Okay, I don't know if a lot of people might not know this. I did, but anyway. Simon Pegg is a giant Star Wars fan, like to the point of super geek.
Yes.
Like he can recite lines and stuff from Star Wars, and he corrects people on Star Wars stuff.
And Nick Frost will pretty much do anything with Simon Pegg.
Literally. So yeah, think about that one twice.
No.
Not a pretty picture.
Wow.
So what they've put together a little video that we're going to show you later on. Their take on Star Wars. No, not exactly what you would think.
But still nonetheless funny. And without further ado, it's time for Off the Press.
Welcome to Off the Press this week. Pretty small week this week, but
Yep.
we're going to keep doing it anyway. Starting things off on a sweet note. DIY glowing Kryptonite candy.
Yes.
So an Instructables user named Britt Liv has put together a recipe to make glowing candy. Well, it glows under UV light. This isn't the first time this has happened. What's cool about this is that everything is made with food grade ingredients.
I love terms like that when they throw stuff like that around.
When it's like, oh my, what were they made of before?
This candy is not food grade.
Mm.
So it's mobile.
Yeah.
Extra lube grade. No. Anyway.
Oh my. So the secret ingredient in this that makes this Kryptonite candy glow is an additive that's usually in most vitamins. So she used a vitamin B pill, and she basically just broke one pill, squeezed it in some water, and then added that to your regular candy recipe. So.
It's pretty cool. I like the pictures. Now the pictures were, because my first thing is like, cool, it grows like crystals. But
I'm sure you could make it grow like crystals. You know, when you hang a string in sugar.
Yeah, it's still not quite the same.
Yeah, it's not quite the same, but it does look really
cool. But it is
cool.
Like if you do make the formed little Kryptonite crystals, it looks pretty jazzy. And I'm assuming you could probably get some different colors in there, so you could be like,
you can just
I've
use
got red
different food
Kryptonite,
colors.
and then paint it with silver, and you could have silver Kryptonite, edible silver, edible gold as well. Is there not?
Yeah, I like the way Food Network. Yeah, edible copper too. Fun fact.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, it's like silver, bronze, and gold, obviously, for
Oh, of course.
when you're doing all your Olympic cakes. So this it looks really slick under just regular light, but it looks awesome under the UV light because it glows. It's really cool. So if I can get my hands on a cheap candy thermometer, I might just give this a try. It could end horribly. We'll see what happens.
Might end badly. I don't know.
Moving on, our next topic is a new X-Men trailer.
New X-Men trailer, the Russian trailer came out.
Russia.
Yes, Russia. And if, of course, it's YouTube, so if you click the CC, you can get closed captioning.
Oh, sweet.
But it's neat because there are new characters introduced. There's a character that I cannot identify. Basically, he looks like a devil. Red skin, black hair, forked tail. But he's in a suit. and he teleports. And there's another scene where he tends to he seems to be teleporting a few times. But it also shows Banshee, and we have been waiting for Banshee. Well, a lot of people were hoping for Banshee.
Yeah.
And the shots that came out looked pretty sharp. I was very pleased.
Overall, judging by the couple of trailers that's come up for this movie, it looks really good.
It looks way better than
Way better than the other ones.
Yes, and way better than I had given it a chance for. So, I'm excited about this movie.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Still, they haven't done anything yet, unless they like. I was talking to the manager of the Snail, and he was like, "Well, it could be Mephisto," and I was like, "That's a weird thing to do."
Yeah, it's a weird thing to put in an X-Men movie.
But unless they did something like, not Ex Infernus, but anyway, when Hell took over the Marvel Universe, Inferno. So, anyway, we'll see. Like, my mind is open as to what this character is going to be. I haven't prejudged it like I did Wolverine and all those other movies.
This movie comes out pretty soon, considering we haven't heard much about it. Like, it's coming out in the next couple of months.
July?
July, yeah.
I believe.
Somewhere
I think it's
in the
July
summer.
11th, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Around the time of the other superhero movies.
Yeah. All right, moving on from there.
Our last bit of news is...
And this was going to be part of the Gutters.
Yep.
But what we were doing, since there's so little to do with Gutters this week, I'm actually very disappointed in the comic book industry this week. Not a lot that I really wanted to review or anything like that. There is Bonnie Last 3 available on Comixology. But the news this week, and it's not really huge news, but Terry Moore introduces a new comic book called Rachel Rising. This is Terry Moore, by the way, for those who don't know, is the creator of the series, the highly touted series, Strangers in Paradise. He followed that up with Echo. He went sort of sci-fi with Echo, and Strangers in Paradise was a sort of real-life type fiction. But Rachel Rising is apparently going to be spooky and horror movie, not gore horror movie, but more like spooky. That was a little disturbing kind of horror. So I'm looking forward to it. He's a competent writer, and his art is, when he puts his time into it,
Is he both
quite nice.
writing and illustrating?
Creator, yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's about it for me.
Yep.
Now we're going on to this week's releases.
Yep. So in theaters this week, the big geek movie opening up is Paul.
It's a geek movie.
Oh yeah.
I saw it last week. I had the fortune that I got to see it.
What is your one sentence non-spoilery review of this movie?
Good movie, good geek movie.
All right.
Don't have to see it in the theater though.
Okay, so it's not a giant blockbuster movie then. Awesome.
Yay.
On DVD and Blu-ray this week, another huge geek release, Sci-Fi or Sci-Fi's Sharktopus. Yay!
That was funny. Someone tweeted about it, and I was like, on Blu-ray? Huh.
Yeah, I saw it at work a couple of weeks before this came out. I was like, oh my god, it's Sharktopus! It's coming out on Blu-ray! Ah! No one understood me. Whatever.
But I actually couldn't finish that movie.
Really?
I couldn't sit through the whole thing.
I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably have to do it in installments.
That's how I try. Anyway, whatever.
All right, so moving on to game releases.
Homefront for the PS3 and the 360 and the PC.
All right, mediocre, like good but not awesome reviews for this game. And our final piece of news in new releases is Yakuza 4 for the PS3. Haven't really heard much about this game, but apparently it's good enough to make a fourth one.
What do you think about games where the companies where they limit it to a particular platform? Is that a waste of time or?
Not really. I think I've heard like many arguments for this before. It's like it's an incentive for buyers. Like if on the Xbox, for instance, if you like first-person shooters and you like sci-fi, you probably like Halo, then you'll probably want to buy an Xbox.
Okay.
Little Big Planet and all the what are other God of War, Metal Gear Solid, less now than you go for a PS3. But like with a game like Yakuza 4, it's a little bit less of a, I think it's because it's a Japanese game made for mostly Japanese audience. PlayStation being Japanese, it probably makes more sense to release it on the PlayStation first, see how it does in North America, and maybe expand it. This is going into purely speculative territory here. I don't really, like, my job is to sell games and game consoles, and I just tell people, like, well, do you want a Blu-ray player, and what type of games do you like? Okay, you probably want a PS3, or you don't need a Blu-ray player? All right, get an Xbox.
Now, let's say I get a Wii.
Yep.
And I want to play Yakuza. Like,
You're probably out of luck, because the Wii is
But-
aimed for kids, mostly.
okay.
Like, it's not
So-
mostly
so-
for kids, but it's seen as the kiddie console.
So platforms are really being aimed at game types
Yep.
at
Like
this
the-
point. How long would you say that's going? Because to me, it's always been, ever since, we had Coleco,
It's always been aimed at a younger audience,
Activision,
but
all that stuff. But all those games were, like Popeye came out and everyone was losing their mind, and it's like an 8-bit game, and this is ages ago. It was
Well,
like 20, 30 years ago.
okay, just to wrap this up quickly. A study came out recently that most gamers are between 18 and 40,
Okay.
or even older than that, actually. I think like 20 and 40, but it depends on the console. Wii's for kids. Xbox, people are going to hate me for this, but the Xbox is aimed at kids and adults. PlayStation, mostly adults, less kids.
Okay. Interesting. Well.
And with that, that's the end of Off the Press this week.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Insight. Kicking it off, the New York Times is being ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they're doing something that makes sense, and they're doing it in a ridiculous fashion, I think.
They're doing something that makes sense, but doing it in a way that makes no sense.
Exactly, yes. So what they've done is, starting on now, if you're in Canada,
We're the test pilot.
apparently we're just America's lab rat now.
There's only 10% of us,
I
so...
should say now, probably just always.
Yeah.
And 28th of March, sometime in the next couple weeks, if you're in the U.S., New York Times right now gives all their online content away for free. Not so for much longer. They're imposing a paywall, so after a certain amount of views, which we'll get into in a second, which is very complicated, you will go ahead and have to pay $15.
$15 is the starting price if you want the online access plus a smartphone app. There doesn't seem to be an online access only option. It's just online access plus a smartphone app at $15. Then at $25, it's online access plus a tablet app, so you've got to pay extra to use it on a tablet.
If I were you, I would
no, it's not $25, it's $20, I think.
I would use the web browser on your tablet
So it's-
and go ahead and
it's-
save the $5.
It's $5 more to use it on a tablet. And then $35 is their all-access pass, which I don't really know what that
Why would
gets
you need? What's the? Yeah.
Because that makes me wonder what the restrictions are with the other ones, and if I'm paying
Yeah.
like $15 a month or whatever it is,
I'd expect.
everything.
Although if you already subscribe to the New York Times,
Yes, if
then
you get the
okay,
paper
yeah.
copy, then you get all this for free, which is understandable because you're paying substantially more for the paper copy.
But if you pay for the ebook copy, because on your Kindle you can get it sent
Yes.
right to your Kindle, that gets you nothing.
Yeah.
As far as I can discern, it's a
Now,
little confusing.
that's just the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Because
so what,
then it-
basically, from what we've explained,
Yes.
you can see 10 articles a month.
Up to 20 articles.
Up to 20. So 20 articles a month for free.
Yes.
Past that, you have to pay, like we said.
Yes.
Now it gets more interesting because it depends on how you get to said articles.
Because you're allowed something like 5 free Google links
A day.
a day, and then if it's from Twitter or Facebook, it doesn't count, and I don't get it.
So
Like, I'm
Someone
confused when
should-
I have to start paying.
someone should take a Twitter account, link every article New York Times publishes, and everyone can get it for free.
Yeah, but then they get sued.
Then we'll make another one. Facebook page, New York
Like,
Times for free.
I understand what the New York Times is trying to do, because obviously, well, I don't want to say a lot less people are buying newspapers, because that's really not true.
No.
But I think a lot of people are understanding that newspapers are a day late.
Well,
with a lot of stuff.
Or you know what they're doing is some people might subscribe to multiple newspapers in the past, and now they're picking one.
Yeah.
But I mean, regardless of that, people who would have potentially prescribed to newspapers
Yeah.
are not. Like me, I don't, and I won't because I can get it all online.
Yes.
So they're losing their new clientele, and so they're seeing a loss in revenue. So I don't think I have a problem with the idea of
It's just
paying
it
for
really-
some of their online content, but the way the New York Times has done it,
It makes me not want to do it, because then I don't know what I should be buying to get what I need. And
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's very...
Ah!
Yeah, I think the simplest way to understand this is if you're already a New York Times subscriber, nothing changes.
Like, I'm just gonna go and start lighting
But
New York Times
Do I
newsstands on
do I
fire.
need a stupid login there now? Probably.
Probably.
Which is another login, which is just... I don't know. It's too confusing.
Well, that's why you have the app.
Yeah, but what if I don't want the app?
Oh, well. Should have had the app.
I guess. But I have to log into the app,
Well, only once, though.
I suppose. So that's New York Times for you. A little mind-blowing. On the up and up, though, we talked about IE9 last week.
I'm just going to add, if you do decide to get a digital subscription to New York Times and care to email us and explain how the hell it actually works.
Or email us you're angry about it and that you still don't know how it works, even though you're paying them your money. That works too.
So do that, because we'd like to know.
Yeah, we don't.
IE9 was announced in a beta format.
No,
full version
it's
now?
full out.
Alright.
So it's been in beta for a long ass time. But we talked about it last week. So it's coming out. Exciting. I told you to go get it because it's good. It came out, and Microsoft said in the first 24 hours, 2.35 million copies were downloaded. Now that's a lot.
That's a good number.
That's a great number. I mean, and especially considering it's not forced upon you in Windows Update.
Sure.
You have to go select it in Windows Update, which I did. For IE, that's huge.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, like in corporate, there's nothing from there because they won't update.
Yes.
So you're not seeing
They'll
the
get
inflated
IE9
numbers.
in about 8 years.
Yeah, so you're not seeing the inflated numbers from corporate. So these are people who want IE9. Now, I mean, Firefox came out and put a thing on their blog saying, yeah, we had 8 million in the first 24 hours for Firefox 3.
Yeah, they had the Guinness Book of World Records for most number of downloads
In 24 hours.
Yeah.
But Firefox has become less and less relevant lately.
Well, none of us recommend Firefox anymore.
No, I won't.
If you're on Apple, your best bet's Safari. If you're on anything else, Chrome's pretty good.
Chrome's great.
And then IE9's pretty good.
I think the only place I use Firefox is on Linux. And the Linux user base is about this big.
Yeah.
So
All that 2.35 million was... well, can you get IE9 on Windows? Not Windows, but Mac?
No.
So it's just a Windows.
They
only.
haven't made IE for Mac since like 4.
Yeah,
Since Mac started making their own browser,
I guess, yeah.
which lagged a bit. But IE9's a really good product, and I like to see this. So if you haven't got it and you like good browsing, IE9's a good alternative.
Go check it out.
Yeah. Next up, continuing on the web browsing front, some interesting things maybe came to service.
And quasi-Canadian content.
Yes, which is always good for us. So a lot of people, Sean and I have had this argument, Quinn and I have had this discussion, Sam, okay, I've had this discussion with a lot of people. What's faster on the web, Android or iOS? So Blaze Software, which is an Ottawa firm, Ottawa, Canada, decided, let's test that out. So they bought the Nexus S, which is one of the best Android phones out there, the
Yep.
iPhone 4, the newest iOS device.
Both of them running the most recently available operating system from Android and
Yeah.
iPhone.
So head to head, you're looking at the best competitor from each side.
Yeah.
They completely ignored the onboard browsers, which I think a lot of people say, "Oh, that's stupid. It's not actually comparing anything." But I think it compares something more interesting.
It does.
So what they did, they wrote their own app for Android and iOS in similar fashions, and then tested it. And man, was Android about a second quicker in loading web pages.
So essentially what this means is that when Apple is allowing third-party users to use the API for web browsing, it is not giving you a full pipe to that internet.
Yeah.
And instead you're getting a slightly crippled version, which means that unless you're using Safari, the actual app Safari on your iPhone, you're not going to get as quick web browsing experience as you would just using that app straight up, which is kind of annoying, especially if you're using something like Twitter or something like that, and you just want to read a link, knowing that it's going to be a little bit slower is a bit of a, it's a bit annoying.
And I mean, there's a lot of people going, oh, whatever, it's a second. Like, I think an Apple rep actually came out and said, yeah, but, that's not Safari, and it's only a second.
Yeah.
But, like, in this day and age, a second is a lot.
It is, yeah.
If I have to wait 2 seconds for a web page to load in a PC, I've already closed my browser. Like, people laugh like, oh, you're spoiled. No, that's just how the internet is now. I want my information now. If I can get it more now, that's better.
Now, what's interesting about this conclusion is it sort of mirrored something that I had done. I was doing some testing between the various applications that allowed you to edit movies on your iPhone, so iMovie and Real Director and Splice and things like that. And what I noticed was that regardless of how many extra features the third-party apps had, the quality on exporting in iMovie was always better than the third-party apps, which sort of led me to believe that Apple was saying, yeah, we'll give you exporting and we'll give you that control, but you're not going to have the same level of bitrate or whatever that we can do, making you kind of have to buy Apple's product if you ultimately want your video to look the best it can. So I've seen Apple do this before, and I guess I understand their mentality, but it seems it kind of gives a better hand to Android, where Android's kind of like, no, we actually let you use our phone.
Yeah, this is the operating system. Use whatever you want from it.
Yeah,
which makes a lot more sense. I think you're going to start seeing a little bit of the cracks in the Apple's, giant controlling sphere.
Yeah.
It's just going to come, and I think it's interesting. A lot of people wrote this off and went, oh, whatever. Because they actually read it. Oh, it's not Safari. But I think it actually points out something really interesting. So, wiggle blaze.
Now, right now, there's a couple different ways that you can watch and view movies on your computer. The most traditional way is to go out to a video store and rent a movie and pop it in your disk drive and start watching it. The next most popular option is to use something like Amazon or iTunes or something like that and rent a copy of the video. And what apparently Canadians really love is using a service called Netflix, which allows you access to a whole library of stuff. Now, each of these things have a pro and a con. DVDs, you usually spend a little bit more money to rent a DVD. You've only got it for a couple days. But you have full access to all the bonus features and language tracks and commentary and all that kind of stuff.
Plus, you always get the best quality from a DVD compared to stream or download.
True. With iTunes, you get them the same time as you can get a DVD, but there's no bonus features, there's no audio tracks, anything like that. And you're only paying a little bit less than renting a DVD. And then with Netflix, you're paying the least amount of money to watch the stuff. You can watch it whenever you want, however many times you want, but you got to wait longer to get all of it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, all three of them have flaws. Now, this has happened before, but this company's trying to really have a run at it, and it's a company called Zediva that is basically... What they've done is they've kind of married both technologies together in a really odd way. And, well, not odd, but I guess it seems backwards in today's day and age.
It's an obvious way that people would never think of.
Yes. So what they've done is they've gone and bought a whole heck of a lot of DVD players, and then they've set them all up to streaming boxes. So essentially, when you use their service, you are legitimately watching a DVD from a DVD player. So you get access to those audio tracks, and you actually get to see that FBI piracy warning and all that kind of stuff that you wouldn't normally see in everything else.
And basically, the advantage this gives them is, like Netflix or Zip or whatever, they've bought all these DVDs, but they don't have to mail them to you.
Right.
They just have to pop it in a drive in their giant, server place.
Yes.
So it kind of... They still have to buy the content, but they don't have to make the distribution deals.
Yeah.
Like Netflix, when Netflix wants to stream stuff, they can't just go buy DVDs, rip them, and stream it. That's illegal.
Yeah.
They have to go to NBC Universal and Sony Pictures and say, look, I want to stream this piece of content. What do you want for it? So they've kind of bypassed it in a fairly creative way. And like you said, it's been done before by a few companies, but I don't think ever to this size.
Yes, this has gotten a lot of press in comparison to other ones that have tried and failed. So, I mean, you get the marriage of something where you can have access to audio tracks and bonus features, plus you get to stream it from the internet. And the other thing about it is that they're offering a really competitive rate. They're saying $1.99 per rentals, or a block of 10 for $10. That's $1 a rental. Now, presently it's just DVD quality, but that's still a really good price.
DVD quality is what you should expect from a web stream.
Absolutely.
Anywhere. I mean, to get better than that, no one has that kind of internet pipe. So quality, they're on the money.
Yeah.
Quantity, they're getting the movies people want at the right time. I think where they're going to have problems is scale.
Yeah, so this is the catch to this service, is unfortunately because there are only so many DVD players and only so many copies of each of the popular movies, if they have 10 million people watching and 8 million of those people want to watch, the 127 hours, for instance, they don't have 8 million copies of that disc, and they don't have that many free devices to be able to play it. So unfortunately, it works out where you might end up in a queue to have to wait for a movie. Now, if you get a movie, you can watch it for a 4-hour period. You can start, stop, watch it as many times as you want in that 4-hour period. And then you have a 2-week period after that to come back in. But you might have to wait when you want to go back and rewatch it in that 2-week period
See,
that you pay for the rental.
That's the thing, is they're getting around these deals with the producers and that kind of thing. But
And getting you that extra content.
Exactly. But what they're creating is a logistics nightmare on their end.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this level, at the level of customers they're at right now, perfectly manageable.
Yeah.
But if you scale this even to 1 million people, that gets insanely complicated, and the queuing is going to be to get low queuing and still have a large selection. Like the amount of combinations there is ridiculous. So I'll be curious to see what happens. And the legal issue is kind of a gray issue.
Yeah.
Because technically, DVDs are for home use, but this is home use.
Now the thing is, if they were paying the cost of DVDs that a video store pays, then arguably they could do it that way. You know, they're paying $30 a disc as opposed to the rental cost of, like, you know, because when you go to a video store and rent a DVD, that store has paid a higher dollar value for that disc based on the premise that it's going to rent and make money from it. So I mean, if they buy them through those appropriate channels, then theoretically they could get around that basically by saying, well, we're a video store that you watch online.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if they can hang around. And presently, if you go to their website, they're not accepting more customers because they're kind of at capacity right now.
Which is not surprising.
Yeah, but they do have plans on expanding if things go well, and they want to be able to support millions of customers. I would love to see the data center that requires to run that many discs and everything like that.
It's ridiculous. I can't fathom.
It's hard to comprehend.
Even if you were using computers somehow with like 12, 15 decks a computer,
Yeah.
you still need millions of these computers to scale. So
Yeah.
it'll be really interesting. I think we're going to try and follow it because, I want to see what legally happens, because that's what squashed all these other companies.
Yeah.
Was basically one of the big picture companies says, how you can't do that? And the court goes, well, you know, you probably can't.
Yeah. It's
So,
a very gray area.
that'll be interesting, as well as if that doesn't come up, how the hell are they going to do this?
Yeah. And finally, our last issue for Tech Insight, Time Warner decided to make a tablet app to watch some television stations, and then they got in a lot of trouble right away.
So when I saw this, Time Warner Cable, so the cable provider, came out and said, here's an iPad app. You can stream our TV to your iPad. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yes.
Live channel is basically what you get, which is what I want some of the time. You know, if I just want to watch TV,
I don't know what I want to watch, but
Yeah.
I know there's something on.
Because, you know, I don't have television, and that bothers me a little bit. You know, I want to sit down and do nothing, but now I got to choose to watch this episode of this season of this show, right? So when I saw that, I was like, Time Warner, that's a smart move. So they gave a selection of channels, like the Disney channels, all the channels Time Warner owns, like CNN and things like that, Discovery Channel, and then so they released it. Basically, they were having problems with so many people were trying to get it off the App Store at once. There was, which I'd never heard of before, problems that way. More importantly, a bunch of content providers that aren't Time Warner were like, "Whoa, you can't do that. You can't stream that anywhere. There's no tablet licensing within our agreement." So Time Warner went, "Well, you can. It's just like a TV."
Yeah.
Because what I didn't know is you can only watch it in your house.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure the technology, how they're verifying it. It probably has something to do with your cable box on your network, or you know, you have to be a Time Warner cable subscriber or something like that. But if I'm on Wi-Fi at your house and you don't have cable,
Yes.
I can't watch the streams. If I'm on the bus, I can't watch the streams.
So I mean, it really is a small handheld television.
It saves you from running a cable up to your bedroom when you want to watch TV.
Yeah.
Which
It gives you
brilliant.
another set-top box without having to buy another set-top box.
Brilliant. But none of the cable channels like that very much at all.
Well, unfortunately, it seems to be the trend with everything that everyone legally wants to sue everyone else because everyone wants to own their own stuff and make it all available, and it just makes everything
But see,
convoluted.
here's the thing: is if let's say, I don't know how Discovery Channel feels about anything, to be perfectly honest for you, but let's say I'm Discovery Channel. I want to distribute my content my way on
true.
the web, so I have my Discovery Channel portal where you can watch my shows. However, I'm also making most of my money off selling it to people like Bell and Time Warner and Comcast to distribute as a cable channel. Well, Comcast or Time Warner also wants to distribute that content in the way they want.
Yes.
So, but they go, no, I'm doing that. You can't do that. But maybe they're doing it better, and they're also paying you for the content, and someone else is paying them for that content. So how does that work out? I don't know. I'm curious to see.
If you were to make a wire diagram of this, it would look like the back of most AV theaters.
Oh, it'd be terrible. I don't know what's going on. I think congratulations to Time Warner. That's a really
it's a
clever
slick
thing
looking
to do.
app too.
It looks good. Apparently works really well, which is important. And
Yeah, definitely.
feature-wise, if Rogers came to me and said you can watch TV on your iPad, even though it's a few channels, I'd go buy an iPad because that's huge. I can just sit there,
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic service. And Time Warner's like, we're going to separate ourselves from people like Comcast. Look at that. And then they got screwed. So sorry, Time Warner. I think you did a great thing there, and shame on you, Discovery and Disney Channel.
But I think they are recouping some of that channel, so we'll have to see.
I think you're
how
seeing
that develops.
limited content coming through,
Possibly, yeah.
which ruins it because I just wanted to watch the channel.
Yeah.
That was the whole cool thing about this.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see where this is going to end up.
All right, and that brings us to the end of Tech Insight for this week.
It's kind of alive.
Nah, it's still dead.
Oh. Hi everyone, welcome to Mad Science for this week. And like Sam mentioned it, we've been doing a lot of callbacks.
But that's because things that seemed cool a couple months ago are actually happening now, and now they're like this much more cool.
Yeah, for instance, Robonaut. He's finally unboxed!
Yay!
He's been under so many delays, and now he's finally been pulled out of his styrofoam crate. And they were quite happy to do so. He still looks very freaky on the end of
So
the
is
cannon
this
arm.
thing in fully functioning yet,
I
or
don't
have
think
they
they-
just showed it off to the?
I don't think they have it completely set up yet.
Okay, so it's not wired to the
yeah.
space station yet. Right.
However, though, it is apparently ready to go.
Sweet.
They just literally got the package, because apparently
Yep.
FedEx ships very slowly to space, and they just opened it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. He kind of looks creepy still. Dave was mentioning how creepy it looks just being a torso on a stick, essentially. But
Yeah, the legs would be useless. You wouldn't have room for the jetpacks
pretty much.
or something.
But either way, so that was just a quick mention because Robonaut's cool, and hopefully we'll see more. I'd like to actually see some video of it working because it's looking really, really
Probably in
neat.
a couple of weeks, some videos will start to trickle out. Especially if
Probably.
you follow NASA on Twitter. Oh my lord, do they tweet often?
They do. They really do.
Very good tweets, though. Very good content tweets.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But into something new, but kind of old, but still new, but very old.
So, fossil remains of a new dinosaur has been found in the African country of Angola.
Sweet.
It's said to be maybe possibly one of the biggest dinosaurs they've unearthed. Maybe. They've only found a couple of bones from this particular species, so they're not 100% sure of the details yet. So far, they're naming it. I'm very sorry, people that speak Latin.
I can put it in there if you want. I can say it.
Go for it.
All right, so they've named it the Angola Titan Adamastor
Yep.
because it is a
Because it's from
very
Angola.
large.
Yeah, it's from Angola. It's very large. There's again Angola and Titan, and
Yep.
then the other one's giant sea creature because they found it in a ancient lake bed.
Yeah, pretty
with
much.
some other fishies and shark teeth and things.
Yeah, the whole thing is they're saying that it should be very, very large, rivaling a 120-foot long sauropod that is Argentinosaurus. So that was very big. For the record, sauropods are the ones sauropods are the ones with the long necks.
Yep. Whose bodies are really long.
Yeah, and they're huge. But they're basically going on this assumption based on where they found the bones and what they found with it, that being the teeth and
Yep.
other things. They're thinking it may have gotten into the water, and sharks started eating it. Interesting. It'd be cool to see where this heads on to, if they can find more of this gigantic thing.
Yeah.
And now for something really new. This is honestly new, and we'll probably be calling back to it.
Probably in about a year or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So GE has finally come up with a new type of thermal conductivity device.
Yep.
So for those of you who have no idea what I just said, thermal conductivity as in heat transfer. In this case, it's using phase shifting, which Scott has explained to us, and I still don't continue. It's comprehended, but not really.
Just go to our show notes and click the articles, because the article from Gizmodo, or from Engadget, does a
Yeah.
very good job of just breaking it down, and there's a handy diagram on it that actually works.
Yeah. So practically speaking, this thing is a nano substrate which is able to repel and attract water at the same time, and thus causing or going as anything in phase shifting, which is phase changing, which is to cool things. So they've essentially created a cooler that has twice the effectiveness of copper at about I think it was a quarter of the weight, which is pretty good, or quarter of the size. Sorry, 1/4 the weight. Yeah, so 1/4.
Yep.
So this is pretty interesting news. It's been funded by DARPA, those wonderful mad scientist buggers, with all of their money, and so it's going into avionics, things like that, because it can work in high G environments.
Yep, so high stress environments. But in the long run, it will trickle down to things like laptops and cameras and phones and things.
And if it didn't, I'd be very surprised because
I'd be a sad panda.
Yeah, it's very much worth it to get into these sort of things. So that wraps it up for science this week. Keep looking into these stories because they're getting interesting. Hi everyone, it's also time for the lull of the week.
It's like we were just here.
Maybe,
Maybe.
but maybe not.
So the lull of the week this week is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who are starring in Paul that comes out this week. They, behind the scenes and on the off time of Paul, they were trying very hard to shoot a scene-for-scene reenactment of Star Wars. Except they didn't really get that far. So, College Humor has just put together what they've achieved.
How did we get into this mess? We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life. Bloop, 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 bloop. What? Bloop, 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 bloop. Is that what you're gonna? Is that how you're gonna do it? Blob, bloop, blab, blob.
That's how he does it, innit?
No, he makes a whistle. He communicates via a system of beeps and whistles. He doesn't say bleep, blap. Go like this. Try that. No, no.
Bleep to boot.
Boot. Look, I'll take 3 steps.
Yeah.
I'd say my line again, and then try and make it sound like a series of sophisticated bleeps and whistles. Okay?
All right. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, let's just say it in English.
All right.
Well, that was really funny. And incidentally, they're dressed in cardboard.
They are. I'm pretty sure it's just things they had lying around on set.
Yeah.
And they probably took a trip to the hardware store to get some paint.
Well, if you look closely, I think Nick Frost is wearing a garbage bin lid on his head.
Like most R2-D2 costumes should be.
Yeah. So, I don't know what to think of this.
I think it's hilarious, and it's obviously these two actors / friends playing off each other very well.
There you have it.
And that's the lull of the week this week. If you want to contact us about anything you saw on this show or any other shows, or what you want to see in future shows, the easiest way to contact us is on Twitter at @almost_Friday.
Or you can contact us by email for comments and other suggestions at contact@almostfridayshow.com. So that wraps up the show for this week.
Yep. Try to stay away from half-body robot Daft Punk helmet things, because Dave doesn't like them.
And dinosaurs. Watch out for dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, they'll come and get you.